Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to Melbs. I hope you guys are all doing all right. Your girl is finally done with the first bunch of her exams, and as promised, I am back trying to be more consistent here. So if you like this channel, make sure you subscribe and follow me on all my social media handles, and yeah, we'll catch up over there. But today I have a very special guest next to me. This is my dad. This is P.diddy, as we like to call him on here. And yeah, today you guys have been asking me to host him on YouTube on my channel. So today I thought I'd have him here, and I wanted us to have a conversation about mental health. But before we get into all of that, I want him to introduce himself to you guys, and then we'll jump right into it.
Yeah, as you know from Melissa, she calls me P.diddy. P.diddy.
P.diddy.
But my names are Senfuma. I'm a medical doctor and specifically a psychiatrist. That means I trained in psychiatry. I'm a specialist in psychiatry. If you want to know a bit of my background training, I started my medical school in Uganda, Makerere University, the former very known university in Africa. Then I continued my medical studies in Germany, where I qualified around 86. Then went back to Uganda to work as a general practitioner. Then, due to unavoidable circumstances, I returned back to Germany and started my psychiatric training in Germany. After a while, and being a nomad myself, in nature probably, I decided to continue in UK as a self-employed psychiatrist, what in London is well known as a locum psychiatrist. Yeah, that's me.
That's P.diddy, guys. Now, I have a few questions. I feel like mental health has been a big topic at the moment. I feel like a lot of people have made it a trend somehow on social media. A lot of people are talking about it but don't really know the ins and outs. They're not really professionals when it comes to this topic. But I do think it's a great thing that this topic has, you know, become a topic and we're talking about it. Males, females, young people, older people. But I wanted to get a professional perspective because we have a lot of conversations about mental health and, you know, how to improve it and all the things that are part of it. So I wanted you to just, you know, talk to my people, talk to my peeps, and educate them a bit about mental health and what they can do to improve it and all that good stuff. My very first question to you is, how would you define mental health? Like, easy for people to understand. How would you define what is mental health?
Well, medically, ill health has got two sides. Either your body becomes ill, or your mind, what we call psyche, becomes ill. Yeah? Mental health is that part of pathology, that part of the human which gets disturbed in mental health. Mental health, I'm happy, has become a sort of trend. I'm not only saying this because I'm a psychiatrist, but it's because mental health is one of the determinants of a happy and good life. Yeah? In other words, if your mental is not in good health, yeah, you are messing with the best capital a human being has. Human beings, unlike animals or other creatures, has a developed brain and therefore a developed mind. And this is the best capital. For example, Melissa, these houses we see here, or these cars we see here, it is actually the mind through the thoughts. Yeah, somebody had an idea. Yeah, and this idea was first a thought, and it became reality after a while. After, you know. In other words, the mind is also the creator of whatever we are seeing. In other words, the mind is a very, very important part of our human being. Yeah. Now, if you keep your mind, your psyche healthy, you are going to lead a happy life. You are going to be a productive human being. You are going to fulfill the purpose of your being here on earth. If the young people and also the older people are getting aware that the mental health is important and taking care of it, what I call psych hygiene, this is a very positive way in the development of the humanity.
Now, we've had, I would say, roughly almost 2 years in very trying times worldwide. COVID has really affected the whole world in one way or another. But I have noticed a lot of, mental health discussions happening, especially in this time of COVID. How would you say personally, in the workplace that you're in and in the things, your surroundings, how would you say mental health has been affected by the pandemic, by COVID in particular?
Well, this unfortunate and unprecedented COVID pandemic has really affected humanity, and as many people say and notice, there is almost a new world order. Unfortunately, this new world order starts from affecting the psyche of a human being. For example, if you keep distance, you are not only going against nature, but you are making this other person lose contact with the humanity. Social distancing is necessary today, but comes with its advantages. Its disadvantages. Yeah. The human being is a social animal, as you all know. Yeah. As soon as you are born, you are put in your mother's arms or your father's hands, and you need this warmth as a human being, this contact. The human being, even if it is, to continue developing properly, you need this human contact, and not so much of distance and being lonely. COVID, the moment, especially in the developed world here, the moment they said don't move out, social isolate, you very well know that here in Europe, for example, many people live single. In other words, these people were cut off from the world, from their friends. Because even if somebody didn't have a friend, one would, after finishing work, would go out in a sports club, and play with people, in a pub, drink with people,
socialize,
interact a bit. But now here we are, COVID said, no, stop, stay at home alone, so many hours each day for a bit of physical exercise and all that. In other words, COVID has really had, to me, in my opinion, a very, very big impact.
Just because you spoke about COVID and the social distancing and things like that, because actually in my uni course we had a module where we also discussed people, human beings and social contact, and actually Germany, the statistics were about Germany, was loneliness was more dangerous than, they said, cancer, and I'm not sure, but there was 2 other diseases where I was quite surprised, because I was like, wow, so that means this thing is actually so important and so undermined in a way that, actually being alone, because
absolutely,
if you compare the lifestyle that we live maybe in Europe compared to maybe the lifestyle that we know back home, let's say in Uganda, for example. Uganda is more of a social country, you know. People are more outside, they're more with each other, you know. In Europe, you find that a lot of people live kind of a tunnel vision type of lifestyle. So it was very, very interesting to me to hear that actually, you know, loneliness is one of the causes of death in Germany. You're about to talk about how COVID affected your profession in particular.
In particular, in our field, the psychiatry, many people are already have a fragile psyche. They have an unstable psyche. Yeah. When COVID came, this made it worse. In particular, for example, people got a lot of anxiety as a result. Yeah? People were not sure. There was a lot of uncertainty, and to a mental ill person, it creates a lot of uncertainty that this person always needs a sort of reassurance. Unfortunately, there was no manpower. They were not allowed to come to the clinics. You had to talk to them via phone, and thank God through technology one could communicate per video conference, what we call telepsychiatry. We have tried, all psychiatrists and even general practitioners have tried all their best to continue supporting our patient through this sort of communication. Yeah? But of course the effect is not removed. People have, I will not exactly tell you the statistics because I have to recheck that, but it is a high level of increased mental unwellness. Yeah? This is not only in the mental health, but even people who are supposed to be normal,
healthy,
yeah, mentally, they have been affected through loneliness. Of course, loneliness, as you know, you are not interacting with your friends, you become a bit depressed. It comes as a small thing. When you don't do exercises, you are all the time lying down, your motivation gets affected. Yeah, your productivity gets affected. In other words, the mental health has affected the economy also in Uganda. People are not productive as they were. This is not probably, you cannot see it now, but these after effects will be seen. Of course, governments are pumping in the society money, but the effects are there.
Yeah.
Even economically. Very obvious. Yeah.
So what advice would you give people out there, especially during COVID, since we know it's so uncertain, we don't know when this whole pandemic is ending? What advice would you give them in this time? What can they do to improve or maintain at least their mental health?
Yeah, that's a very good question. The important point is, first of all, not to separate the mind and the body. In other words, there are restrictions, yeah, and one has to really acknowledge that COVID is real. Yeah? After that, we keep safe by doing different things. Mentally, there is no way your mental will be stable if you are feeding yourself wrongly. Yeah? In other words, if your immunity is not strong, indirectly your mental health is going to be affected. Yeah? Then I would advise everybody to do some of this, what I call the psychological hygiene, by, for example, if you like music, listen to some of this music, whichever music you like.
You can listen to my music.
Yeah, try to listen to music. Try to do some meditation every day. Read motivational books, inspiring books. listen to inspiring to inspiring videos, people who are talking through experience, people who are talking through what they have experienced in life and what has helped them to go ahead. All this, everybody, be it billionaire, be it the happiest married couple, they have had their ups and downs.
True.
But the question is, how do you get out of this down? When you get in a deep hole, how do you get out? You have to have some strategies of getting out. Being a crisis, at the other hand, there is a chance of learning and training how to face such critical times in life. Yeah? So, do your exercises, listen to your music, start being imaginative. If the weather is so bad, you can imagine sitting at the beach with all the nice girls and boys you can think of. You know, this makes your chemistry in the brain produce a bit of happy hormones, which sort of stabilizes your mind.
Okay, so you've already mentioned that, you know, the mind is the biggest capital that we have. So you've given us advice on, you know, how to maintain it and the things that we can do. But what would you say, what should we avoid?
I forgot to mention in the beginning, when you asked me the last question, that mental health, in order to keep your mental healthy, avoid negative thoughts. All of us have thoughts, and thoughts to me are creators. Thoughts are the basics of whatever we are seeing, of whatever you are going to perceive the world as. In other words, our brain should be fed properly with positive thoughts. The moment you feed your brain with negative thoughts, you are going to have an unhappy life, a poor mental health. Therefore, this is a concrete advice, and let nobody underestimate it. Avoid negative thoughts. We can talk in another session of how one avoids negative thoughts, because they will always come. That internal dialogue is always there. If you are lucky, it will be positive. If you are unlucky, it will be negative. And the moment it becomes negative, when your internal conversation becomes negative, those small voices, when they are negative, they will affect you. A brain is a sort of like the computer. What you feed this computer, what you command this computer in form of thoughts, is what the outcome of your life. That is very important to be aware of.
Thank you very much, P.diddy, for being here, for being on Melbs' channel. But yeah, guys, if you have any questions, any comments, leave them down below. Any suggestions of anything that you want to see next, because yeah, we're gonna be filming a couple of videos with P.diddy, so make sure you let us know whatever you want to know, whatever you want to see next, and we will do our best to try and do so. But yeah, we hope that you guys all keep safe, and we'll see you in another video. Bye.
Bye-bye.